Yes, sir.
Got it.
Let's go. Another week.
Oh, yeah. It's a big
Another
one.
day to be great.
Yep.
I got that song in my head, Peyton.
Which song?
Orlando Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Orlando Magic.
They were giving out
Orlando.
T-shirts at the game that said, play the song. I don't know if you saw that.
Play the song,
Yeah.
especially after the last performance. We're going to talk about that in a minute, man.
Yes, sir. Got to.
Yes, sir, man. How you feeling today, Peyton?
Man, I'm feeling good. It feels good to be back here with you. I don't want to say it was a layoff because we talked last week, but we had to get an episode in before the beginning of the NBA playoffs. So I'm glad we're here. No doubt. Let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
You want to go ahead and lead us off?
Sure thing. So before we get into all the content today, I do want to start by saying we want to send all of our thoughts and prayers to everybody over in Tallahassee. I'm sure most of you have heard tragic news coming out of Florida State today as there was an on-campus shooting. There's not much to say after that. We just want everybody over there to know that we're thinking of you all and sending our prayers. And yeah, it's very unfortunate what's going on in the country and the world right now, but just trying to find solutions and stick together. So again, sending our prayers and thoughts over there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree no more with you, bro. I think it's very tragic that that type of stuff is still going on in the world, but the tragedy strikes every day, and prayers go out to the families and everybody that, that had any injury to them or anything like that. I know it was a traumatic experience for the campus. So hopefully they can band together as a university, as an institution, and pull together, man. I don't have much to say about it. It's very unfortunate and stupid. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's stupid that we have to go through these things, and honestly, it sucks. So
yeah,
let's do better, people. I don't know, where you are in America. If you haven't heard about the story, do your research, man. Do your research and figure this thing out. Let's be together, be better for our country at the end of the day. So
that's well said, man.
Yeah.
I hear you. So definitely wanted to address that first, and now we can get into catching up with you guys, talking a little bit of NBA play-in tournament and also previewing the NBA playoffs. It's basically going to be an NBA-focused show today as we're right in the thick of things, and then we'll get into a little bit of NFL draft coverage next week. But yeah, let's just recap a little bit of what happened over the past couple of days in the NBA play-in tournament. First of all, with the Magic playing on Tuesday night, the Heat got their win last night. Let's start with the Magic. Russ and I actually missed the game live, but we were just watching highlights. I was able to go back and watch the game in its entirety. Big time contributions off the bench from Cole Anthony and Anthony Black, the Anthony buddies. The Hawks are in a weird space. I would say the Magic just took care of business there. I think they were a favorite for a reason. They were at home. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Magic. Play that song, man.
Play it, DJ.
That's all we want to hear.
Yeah, but off the bench, Cole Anthony just giving you all that production. He was the leading scorer. He played barely over 20 minutes. You could argue that was the difference in the game. The Magic Stars, although they didn't have a super efficient night, I thought from what I saw, they still played relatively well, and they just held things together. What were your takeaways, Russ? What did you see when we were watching the highlights?
Man, the most important thing thing for me while watching that game was seeing how commanding Paulo Banchero was with the basketball. I think this is gonna not only him, and just watching him grow as an NBA star, but also the ability to have other people step up. That's going to be important, and that's going to be huge going into this postseason, especially with a team like the Celtics. You're going to need everybody. You're going to need everybody to step up and play a major factor. Like, I don't think that while Paulo is great and everything, and let's not call him great, but while Paulo is doing his thing and his ability to play a factor on the team, this is a team that needs everybody to step up.
Yeah.
And this. Mose is a defensive coach first. And if they can't score, they can't win. So we're gonna have to figure that out coming up soon. But they were able to figure that out against the Hawks.
So I really liked the word you just used there. Paulo took command, because it's not like he was scoring efficiently, but he was still getting downhill, getting people involved, getting to the free throw line, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So especially in the first half, I think he only had 1 or 2 field goals made. So he was still doing his part in affecting the game in other ways other than just scoring.
And that's the one thing that I did notice. Like, I think that for him, it's going to be having that commanding presence in the game, even if he's not scoring. So being able to, make plays happen for his teammates, being able to open up the 3-point shot or open up the lane, whatever it may be. I think that's exactly why the Magic want to build around this guy. So, shout out to Franz, shout out to Anthony Brothers, the law firm of Anthony and Anthony.
Exactly.
So and let's talk. We got to talk about Cole Anthony, man. He's not giving you 30 points a night, but when that guy shows up, he shows up and he does it right. So if he can be a little more consistent. For let's just say the magic number in the playoffs is 16. So if you can show up for 16 games and do that 16 more times, the Magic are going to be in a great place. But right now, let's just take it one game at a time.
Yeah. And he was feeling it to the point where he was on the court with Franz and Paulo, and they were deferring to him in a sense. Everybody knew that he had it going, so he was getting his shots up. It was a welcome sight for sure. We can transition over to the Heat now real quick. We hit on the Magic. I know they beat the Bulls last night.
And since I've been singing the Magic song, I have to sing the Heat song. I know you don't know this one, Peyton.
Oh, I don't.
All right, but it goes, can you feel the heat down in your soul? I feel the heat down in my soul. Feel the heat.
Do they play that in the arena?
It's a throwback song, man.
It's a throwback.
A 90s Heat fan know it.
Oh, okay.
Feel it,
nice.
Miami Heat.
I don't think I could sing that one.
I probably don't sound that well singing it, but hey.
Better than me.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah. So obviously Tyler Hero with the big game, I think he had 38 points. It wasn't really that close, so there's not much to talk about in terms of that game, but we could touch on the Heat moving forward as they've got the Hawks tomorrow night. And obviously we just talked about the Hawks a little bit in their matchup against the Magic a couple of nights ago.
And we did see Tyler Hero talk about the Magic playing the Heat. And the one thing I love about these three teams, and you did mention this off camera before we started the show, was that they're all in the same division and they're fighting to get into the playoffs, So the one takeaway before we do move too far away from the Bulls versus the Heat, I think we've seen them spread the ball around. Tyler Hero did have 8, but we saw a lot of people stepping up at the end of the day. We saw the big man Ware stepping up. We saw Bam Adebayo do his thing.
Yep, Duncan had a few threes.
We saw Andrew Wiggins do his thing.
Let's speak on the guy Mitchell that you were talking about a little bit earlier. You saying that you were a fan of his. So,
oh yeah, my guy Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know, he's only been in the league 4 years. He's already a bit of a journeyman, but maybe he's found a home with the Heat. He got a good amount of playing time last night, and you know, maybe he's just one of those guys that has some untapped potential there. That's still working into the Miami Heat system and working on his game and his craft. I've always just been a big fan of his, so I'm happy to see him do well and contribute for the Heat. So I'll be watching tomorrow night when they play the Hawks. It should be exciting. It's a close point spread. You know, Vegas thinks it's going to be a very entertaining game. So really looking forward to that. If I had to pick right now, just with the Heat experience, the Heat culture, even though they're on the road and the Hawks may have the best player in the game, I think I would lean towards the Heat in that one. What say you?
Man, I cannot lie to you.
I can't count Trae Young out, man.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's giving me positivity about the Hawks. But come on, man, you already know where I'm going with this.
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't know. Like,
Why did I ask you?
Trae Young, is he scary? Yes, because he can drop 50 on you with no problem. You know what I mean? But it's a team game at the end of the day. And the way that Miami was moving the ball around, it was a sight to see. 38 coming from Tyler Hero. I don't know how many more 38-point games he got in his system, but you know, if he's able to touch 30 or almost 30 on a night in and night out basis, I think that he has a lot of room to actually do some damage in this playoff series. So let's just say they go on and win this next game against the Hawks. They're gonna have to go and play the Cavs,
right?
You know, so that's
a very tough
beast.
matchup.
That's a different beast. Yeah. So I think they have the physicality to go up against those guys. I think that the Heat has always been known to be one of those blue blood teams in the NBA. I think this whole entire season they were really trying to figure out their way and trying to figure out exactly what they were gonna, what their persona was gonna be.
Yeah. But they found a way in, and now they're here, and they got one shot.
And whoever you are, that's who you have to be, and you got to know what you do well, and you got to know how you're going to play and how you're going to match up against the opponents coming in every night. So
yeah.
But first they got to get over this hurdle. So let's not look too far ahead, Peyton.
Yeah, we'll just sit back and enjoy tomorrow night. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So let's move ahead and look forward to the NBA playoffs here. I asked Russ what first round series he is most interested in. What first round series is he most looking forward to? I told him which one I picked, so he can't pick that one. So I'll let you start, Russ. Just off the top of your head, you know, which series gives you the most intrigue? Which one are you most excited about that you can't miss?
Man, there's a lot of good matchups. But rather than give you my
I hear you.
Rather than give you my favorite matchup, right? I think I'd rather give you the players that I'm looking forward to seeing play the most.
That's fair. We could do that too.
And I'll start with this one. And I guess this matchup would be a major one. And it's a first round matchup. Two teams that have a lot to prove, right? They have a lot to prove. Two teams that have a lot to prove. One team in particular had a major shift during the middle of the season. Another team almost made it to the pinnacle last year, but they fell a little bit short. All right. And that matchup being the Lakers versus the Timberwolves.
Ooh, yeah, that is a great one.
You got Anthony Edwards. Anytime this guy touches the ball, he never fails to amaze me, right?
Sure.
And then now you got 40-year-old LeBron James still trying to make it back to the championship, and you can never count against LeBron James.
Yeah.
And not only that, during the middle of the season, they got another superstar.
Right.
Superstar, not just the star.
Yeah.
The superstar, one of the
megastar.
One of the most talented players in the game, and when he has the ball in his hands, there's no telling what's going to happen. And this is a guy who can't be rushed. He plays the game at his pace.
Well said.
So I'm looking forward to that matchup within itself right there. Can I keep going?
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So let me do this. Another team that I'm actually interested in, or another series that I'm interested in, is the old heads versus the young stars. All right, or the young bulls.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this one. Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going with this, Peyton?
Warriors Rockets.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is a Rockets team that was pretty much down to the bottom of the West last year and the year before last. So
exactly.
To see them make that ultimate shift, that's a major props to them. So and also, like, you can't count out Steph Curry.
No.
How you gonna stop that? You can't teach what Steph Curry does. You know, that's years and years of practice and countless hours of time in the gym. So
I think you hit it on the head with the Rockets. They've really trusted, I don't want to say the word process because I know we use that for the 76ers, but if you think about it, drafted Jalen Green in 2021, kept a lot of the guys that they've drafted on the roster. Yes, they've got a Fred VanVleet that they've added in, a Dylan Brooks, but this is a model in the NBA where, you know, if you make the right selections on draft night, you can still build through the draft. So props to the Rockets, but they do have a tall task ahead with the veteran KG Warriors, especially with Jimmy Butler. I'm only saying that because you already hit on Steph. I think playoff Jimmy's a real thing. You guys know how high I am on Jimmy Butler. I think he just plays a really smart brand of basketball and always gets a good shot. That's why I like watching him play so much. But yeah, that series is very interesting to say the least.
All right, so those are my honorable mentions, Peyton.
Yeah,
those are my honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
And those are some great honorable mention games.
Sure.
But the game that the series that I'm looking forward to the most.
Oh, okay.
Magic Celtics.
Ooh.
And we touched on this the last time that we had a show. I'm not afraid of the Celtics. And I'm gonna save the rest of my take for later in the show when we give some predictions.
Sure.
So
that is a good one.
That is one of the sleeper series, I think, going into this first round of the playoffs.
You know, as I've said ad nauseum, the Magic are a uniquely constructed roster, and they were dead last in the league in shooting this year in terms of 3-point percentage. And Stan Van Gundy said it as he was commentating the play-in game for the Hawks and the Magic. When the Magic are hitting shots, they can be a pretty dangerous team. They obviously have periods of time where they go through scoring droughts. It looks like they can't hit the side of a barn or the middle of the ocean or whatever term you want to use. But if they're hitting their shots, they can be a dangerous team. Now, Boston is the class of the Eastern Conference. And not only do they have the star power with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they've got the depth with Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. So it is a tall task. But it's going to be another great experience and test for this young Magic team. And I'm excited to see how they come out. They're not going to back down. They're going to come out swinging. They're going to try to play their brand of basketball. And
I'm going to pivot right here.
Yeah.
For a second, Peyton.
Go ahead.
So just going back to your Stan Van Gundy point.
Yeah.
When teams are hitting their shots, they're going to be hard to beat regardless of who they are, correct?
Sure.
So we've seen that personally with our adult league basketball that we played. All right. So we've seen a team that was beatable, but at the end of the day, they were hitting all kind of circus shots. You know, so like as much as we were scoring, and that was a very intense game for us, let's give ourselves some props. Yes, did we catch the L? We did, but we lost by 2, and they gave us everything that they can handle. And in reverse, we saw the following week that they kind of ran out of gas. They gave everything that they had to us, but then the next week coming in, they lost the next game because they were not hitting their shots.
Yeah.
So I think that that goes to say regardless of what team it is, if they're going to be hitting their shots, then they're going to be hard to beat.
They're going to give themselves a chance.
Yeah, sometimes the rim is as open as a door, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you can't miss the rim, right? You can't miss the net. So with all that being said, man, I think that this is
going back to my first point. With Coach Mose, he's going to have to figure out how to slow them down, slow the Celtics down, more than he's going to have to figure out how to score. Yeah, they're going to have to create some easy baskets. They're going to have to get Paulo to the rim. All right. Franz is going to have to, he's going to have to be shooting from the outside. Also, we know how good of a creator he is when it comes to getting to the lane. So he's going to have that. He's going to have his inside game and his outside game. And then also you're going to have X factors like a Cole Anthony, like a Wendell Carter. What are they going to do in this matchup? So while this is a tricky matchup for the Magic, I think that it's possible if they can figure out a way to slow down JB and JT. So
yeah. They're gonna give it their all. If I had to pick,
this is my guy, by the way.
Which guy?
Peyton is my guy,
right?
And I don't hear Peyton talk like this too often. He's really always on the up and up for the Magic,
right?
So to hear him kind of hesitating and stuttering is just kind of mind blowing for me. Peyton, you're better than this, man. And
it's almost like everybody knows I'm gonna pick the Magic. I want to be a little more.
The tables have turned. The tables have turned, Peyton. I'm being more optimistic than you. I never thought I'll see the day.
That's true.
I never thought I would see the day.
It's almost like everybody can see it coming, so I'm going the other way. But maybe by the end of the episode, I'll turn into my delusional, optimistic self again.
All right, so I picked two honorable mentions, and actual series that I'm looking forward to.
Right.
Come on, do you have more than one series that you're looking forward to, or do you just have one?
I have one at the top of my head. I'll make up another honorable mention. I guess I'll start with the one off the top of my head. I think Clippers Nuggets is really interesting, mostly because you know what you're getting from Nikola Jokic, and you have no idea what you're getting from Kawhi Leonard in terms of his health. So those two players juxtaposed as the two best players for each team is very interesting. Now, for the rest of the analysis here, let's work under the assumption that Kawhi Leonard is going to be healthy. In that case, it's almost like those two wash each other out because their production is so immense. So I'm really looking at a guy like James Harden, not only how efficient he can be, but his style of play. You know, sometimes we've seen in the playoffs, the ball sticks when it gets to him a little bit. He's had some clunkers. He's had some inefficient games. So I'm watching his style of play. That's really what it comes down to. If he's willing to move the ball and find shooters on the outside, because let's face it, the Clippers have some firepower, like a Norman Powell. They still have Bogdan Bogdanovic. You know, they've got guys that can fill it up. So if Harden plays a little bit more of a facilitator role, I think the Clippers have a good chance. I think it's a long series. I think it's at least 6, if not 7 games. And the last thing I'll say about the series is, you know, I don't see the Clippers just letting Nikola Jokic win the series for the Nuggets. I think there are going to be times where...
Wait, I got to cut you off right there. Go ahead. There's no letting Nikola Jokic do anything.
Right. He's going to see a bunch of double teams.
Nikola Jokic does whatever he wants to do.
Right.
All right. This is the only other player that I would really say that they do whatever him and Luka,
right?
They do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And the reason why they do whatever they want to do is they don't let teams rush them. Right? Like, does Luka take some bad shots? Yes. But his confidence is through the roof, and he knows his abilities, and he knows he can hit those shots. For a big man, Nikola Jokic, his vision is impeccable. So bring the double team if you want. He's known to find the open man. So this is not somebody that we're not going to let him do. He does whatever he wants to do. Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, you're good, man. And I think Ty Lue, the Clippers coach, he knows that. So that's the interesting part of that matchup to me, because I think it's going to come down to the other players on the Nuggets executing and hitting open shots when that inevitable double team does come, because you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm looking at there.
Just playing devil's advocate to what you were actually talking about. Like, to be honest with you, injuries, okay, yeah, cool. I'm not Kawhi Leonard and I'm not in his body.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I think that youth is on the side of the Nuggets. And if you look at the roster of the Clippers, they have a bunch of older veterans on their team. So if this is the last push, they're gonna have to give it everything that they got. And honestly, if they don't make it to the Western Conference Finals or past that, then we're gonna say that this era was really a waste of time for them. You know what I mean? Like,
because Kawhi's been there 5 years. Maybe, so I see what you're saying, though.
And honestly, yeah, injuries may have played a factor, but I think that Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he got his rings, he got his MVP award by
and his body's been through a lot, so you got to start wondering, when is he going to hang it up?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he has to hang it up, but I think that his role on a team has to change. And you can no longer build around him. You have to build with him, knowing that he may or may not be there.
Yeah.
He may or may not be there. So that's an interesting take from you, knowing that that's the series that you're most interested in watching.
I think so. Lakers Timberwolves was definitely close. There's just a ton of star power there, and I could see it being a long series as well.
That's primetime TV right there.
Yeah,
that's primetime TV right there.
So I'll throw just one more at you, and then we can finish up. But I think Pistons Knicks could be fun. I don't think either team is coming out of the East or even getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it has a bit of a throwback feel, just because.
That's exactly what I agree. I agree.
You know what I mean?
It always is a fun series, two gritty teams.
Yeah.
Two teams that I think have a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
a little bit of a coming out party for Cade Cunningham, maybe.
Okay. I mean, hey,
up until this year, he's flown under the radar just because the Pistons haven't been that good, and he had a season-ending injury, I think, his second year. But he checks a lot of boxes, man, when it comes to being a star. So I'm excited to watch him too. Yeah.
Very interesting picks, man. All right. With that being said, Peyton, bold prediction time.
Bold prediction time.
Let me go ahead and give you four here.
All right.
Bold prediction.
All right. So
just give me one.
Full disclosure, I didn't get to prep for this one, but off the top of my head, I'm going to go ahead and say that neither one seed will make the finals. So the Cavs nor the Thunder are going to make the finals.
I like it.
So that's one. Second one being, do you have one? I don't want to take up too much time while you're talking. Okay, you have two. I'll try to think of something, but yeah.
All right, so
go ahead.
I'll go ahead and bring myself in here.
All right.
So my first bold prediction, and I'll start by saying this: the Magic will take the Celtics to a 7-game series.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
That I think that's a bold statement right there.
Off the top of your head, what's the first reason for that prediction?
The first reason,
like, how do the Magic get it to 7 to you? What are they going to have to do?
So I touched on this. I touched on this the last episode, but I feel like Boston's confidence is very high. That can be a good thing for them. But I also think that the Magic might be a sleeper team, in the eyes of the Celtics. And if we come out and we hit them in the mouth and first game we're able to steal a game in Boston, no telling what's going to happen when they come back to the Kia Center. So,
okay.
And I also have faith in Mose that they're going to get the defense right. I'm not saying that. I'm seeing a lot of under 100 games. And if we could keep it under 100, history has shown that the Magic do well when other teams don't score 100 points.
That's fair.
So I believe if they can keep it around 95 and under, the Magic give themselves a chance to win the ball game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's the only reason. Now, I didn't say it was going to be a sweep. I didn't say that we were going to blow out the Celtics, but I can see a 7-game series in the future. And my second bold prediction.
Okay.
This is going to be a Cinderella year.
I like that. Not chalky. Although the NCAA tournament was more chalky than we anticipated. All 1 seeds made the tournament. Maybe this is where we get more upsets.
Oh, yeah. So I'm thinking about how young the NBA is right now and how quickly these teams have meshed together. The Rockets, the Pistons, the Magic, they're not top seed, but they've shown that they can play with the best of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those 3 teams right there alone, you still got the T-Wolves.
Sure.
Right? I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but
even the Thunder have a bunch of young players,
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And they're a higher seed. So I don't know how much of a Cinderella team that would be, even though the Houston Rockets are the 2nd seed, the number 2 seed. But I don't think anybody predicted them to be where they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, I think this is I'm with you. Mm-hmm. It won't be a number one seed that will make the finals.
Yeah.
But I think that a team that was totally off the radar at the beginning of the season to make the finals and or win the finals will probably win the finals this year.
I like that.
Is that bold?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how bold that is. I think that's
well, I haven't looked at the Eastern Conference odds, but I know that in the West, the Thunder are favored to represent the Western Conference. So if they didn't do it, technically that would be a bit of an upset. So
now, I would think that the Lakers making it to the finals would be a Cinderella team.
Yeah.
I would count that.
3 seed. Had an up and down, for the most part, better finish to the season than some anticipated. It was still up and down here and there with LeBron's injury and things of that nature, but I worry about their front court depth just a little bit.
Okay.
Just because Jackson Hayes is really the only big guy that plays. They're going to play a lot of small ball.
Yeah.
If they can get away with it and they get into a situation where they have the right matchup and their offense plays well enough, because when you play small ball, I think you gotta be efficient on that end of the floor.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it. That's all I'll say. You just zoomed in on me and then I finished my point.
No,
okay.
By all means, man. I agree. I stand by my statement. I think that this is going to be one of those seasons where we see a lot of upsets.
I could see it. I mean, shoot, let's go back to 2 years ago. An 8 seed made the finals. I know we brought that up in previous episodes, but you never know what can happen.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very
Simply put, like. Not saying that an 8 seed is going to do it this year, but maybe a 5, maybe even a 3, not a 1 seed. So, you never know.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I like that we got some of our bold predictions out there and our most intriguing series.
Yeah, man.
I like
Hopefully everybody agrees with us on some of our predictions, and they are.
And we'll be pulling for the Florida teams for sure.
There's no question on that. There's no question on that. And I'll bring myself back in here.
Sure, go ahead.
But any final words? Any final words from you?
I think the finals matchup that everybody has been thinking about that could be a lot of fun would be Celtics Lakers. That'd be pretty crazy.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And talk about a throwback. I mean, that's history in the making. We'll see what team can throw a wrench into that perfect picture, because that would get a big rating for the NBA. That was the finals matchup.
Yeah.
But it's not guaranteed. We'll see what happens. But I think you can admit that would be something to behold.
Is that who you want to see in the finals?
I mean, I want to see the Magic, but if it's not the Magic, we'll go with that one.
I'm so desperate for the Magic to win a finals, an NBA championship, man.
Yeah, what are they in their 36th season, 36th or 37th season, and they don't have a championship yet? So, yeah.
I just really want them to. I just want it for the city. I just want the parade downtown.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I just want to go to the parade and have fun and bring the city together, man, because we could use it. We could use it. We're going to see all type of Magic fans coming out of everywhere. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be this season, but hopefully, I mean, we could always, whatever. I'm not going to, hey,
you're being more optimistic than me, which is pretty surprising. But I'll take it. I like it.
Hey, follow, swallow.
Oh,
Magic in 7.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that at first, but I like the way you finished it off. Yeah.
Magic in 7, man.
All right,
man.
Yeah.
But that's all I got to say for the day, man. If you guys have not already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. First of all, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, and we really do appreciate it, man. Follow us on all social media at the Sportaholics. And Peyton, it's always good to be shooting with you. Always good to talk ball. You know exactly how it goes. We are in the nitty gritty of the season now, man, and now it counts.
Absolutely.
Not to say that any of the rest of it didn't count, but this is where people make their money. So
hey, that's right. And we'll keep coming at you guys with more episodes. We'll update you on how all these series are unfolding. We'll be keeping a close eye on the Magic and most likely I don't want to say most likely. They still have some work to do to get into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But again, just like Russ said, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to put out more content on a consistent basis, but as me and Russ always say, lately, so we'll do our best. But again, we appreciate the support from you guys.
Orlando Magic. Oh. I like it, man. Until next time, guys, y'all be safe out there, man. Prayers up to FSU. Everybody out there, y'all have a great Easter weekend. Stay safe, stay blessed, and more power to everybody, man. And I hope everything goes well. Hey, go hunt for Easter eggs. And have a great weekend, man. Let's do it.
Have a great weekend. Peace out, y'all.